I want to start off talking about the case of Jeffrey Epstein. You say you never met Jeffrey Epstein.
It's already
Clearly
uncomfortable.
your husband did know him. The former president says he knew him.
You see how many times she just nodded to start this interview? Watch this. Look at it. She's
Hillary
uncomfortable.
Clinton, thank you for talking to BBC News. I want to start off talking about the case of Jeffrey Epstein. You say you never met Jeffrey Epstein. Clearly your husband did know him. The former president says he knew him before his crimes came to light. But there are also associations with Ghislaine Maxwell, including in 2013 when she was a guest at a Clinton Global Initiative event, years after allegations had emerged against her. What I want to know is, do you regret the links that there have been between Epstein, Maxwell and the Clinton family?
Oh, let's see this wiggle
Well,
room.
let me
Come on.
start by saying that a law was passed in Congress to require that all the files that have anything to do with them be released. And what we're seeing, I think it's fair to say, is a continuing cover-up by the Trump administration.
Wow.
In fact, when the Attorney General testified last week, it was quite a scene because she refused to answer questions. She diverted attention away from the matters at hand. She refused to look at the survivors. So there's something about this administration's attitude toward this, which I think really leads us to conclude they have something to hide. We don't.
Oh,
we have
sure.
been
Is that why you
willing
didn't testify?
to say whatever we know. We've even done it under oath.
You skipped
But
testifying.
they want us to testify, not everyone else who's mentioned many, many times, hundreds of thousands of times in these files. So we've said, fine, let us do it in public. And we will appear in public and we'll answer all your questions.
And we'll get to that in just a moment. But just to be clear, do you regret the links that there have been?
You know, we have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet
in
Ghislaine
fact,
Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused, and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus. And we are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent. The survivors deserve that. The public deserves that. But, you know, the Republican member of Congress who is running this hearing or this investigation is trying to protect the president. So let's get to what's really at stake here.
If she's so open about getting to the bottom of this, why did her and her husband not show up to their House hearing? They were subpoenaed, they were supposed to show up, and they didn't. And how can your husband not know anything about this situation, Epstein and all that, when he's got tons of photographs with him at his place, in his pool, in the files? And to do the same strategy that Pam Bondi did. Pam Bondi didn't answer a question about this Epstein thing at the hearing. She just deflected and tried to bring up negative things about anyone who was asking her a question at the hearing. Hillary Clinton's doing the same thing. Not answering a question, just deflecting and blaming about the Republicans and Pam Bondi and Trump. And yet none of these people wanted to touch any of the Epstein thing the last 8, 10, 12 years. Last 4 years. But now they want to because Trump doesn't want to touch it. And that's one of the PR mistakes that have gone on with Trump and Pam Bondi. They just don't want to touch it and they want to deflect. And Hillary Clinton's doing the same thing. So they're just going to play this deflection game back and forth. But surprisingly, this BBC reporter continues to ask her real questions, which I can't believe I'm saying that about the BBC.
I'm sure Donald Trump and his administration would reject your characterization of what's going on, and he's denied
How
any
can they
wrongdoing.
reject it? They
But
can't answer questions. And the Attorney General was clearly unwilling to answer questions. She works for him. So let's be very clear here. According to what we now know, Mr. Trump, President Trump, is mentioned, some say, 1 million times in the files. People in his cabinet are mentioned.
That correct?
That's what it says, on the internet over and over again. So let's find out what the truth is. That's why we want it to be transparent and in public.
On that, your upcoming appearance before the Oversight Committee, where are we with that? You want to appear in public versus closed-door deposition. Is it going ahead, and how? What is the format going to be?
We will show up, but
And
we
why
think
didn't
it
you
would
show
be
up
better
before?
to have it in public. Because what we want is for everybody to get to the facts about this.
No way.
We have
No way you wanna know
nothing
that.
to hide.
If your husband, Billy Bill, was getting a little blowy blow in the Oval Office with his assistant, you're telling me he wasn't doing anything with Epstein and the Epstein girls? I don't know if you do want to get to the facts there, Hilly Hill.
We have nothing to hide. We have called for the full release of these files repeatedly. We think sunlight is the best disinfectant. Get the files out. They are slow walking it.
No, honey. A UV light is the best disinfectant. At least if you look at Epstein Island and maybe what your husband did. Get that UV light out. That oh, you might see some dangerous things.
Disinfectant. Get the files out. They are slow walking it. They are redacting the names of men who are in it.
I mean, that's
they
not
are
wrong.
stonewalling legitimate requests from members of Congress. That has
True.
nothing to do with us.
Oh,
Something is going on.
Then why do
They
you want to
know
testify?
it. I know it. If they're going to have me testify, I would
Ooh.
prefer to do it in public because I want everybody to see it at the same time. If I have to do it behind closed doors, they're not going to like what I have to say because I have very strong opinions about what it is they're hiding and who they are protecting.
You know what she's going to say if it's behind closed doors? I bet you she's going to bring up some dirt that she has on each and every one of them and say, look, you want to take this a little farther? You can see what happens. And if she does it in public, she's just going to do the social justice warrior campaign about how much she cares and all this crap. At least it'll land better with the public than what Pam Bondi did, which was just totally deflect when she was getting questioned. And Hillary Clinton's going to probably do the same thing, deflect and then play the victim mode. I can't believe the BBC reporter is not backing down and still asking her real questions.
I just want to ask you, there are calls for another individual who denies wrongdoing to go before Congress on this matter. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Do you think he should testify?
I think everybody should testify. Look,
including the former prince?
I think everybody should testify who is asked to testify. I just want it to be fair. I want everybody treated the same way. That's not true for my husband and me because other witnesses were asked to testify. They gave written statements under oath. We offered that. They want to pull us. Why did they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated. This is so obvious, and they keep trying to divert. Look at this shiny object. We're going to have the Clintons, even Hillary Clinton, who never met the guy. We're going to have her there. Let's focus on what's really happening here. You have an Attorney General and a Justice Department attempting to hide information that should be made public.
I just want to ask you, though, because as many people have said, being in the Epstein files does not mean that you've done anything wrong. But speaking for yourself and for your family, what was your reaction when you saw some of the material that has been released? I'm thinking, for example, of images of your husband apparently in a hot tub in a swimming pool on Epstein's plane. What was your reaction to that? And
Yeah, what was...
do you know the context
Look at her
surrounding some of
face.
those images?
Absolutely. And it wasn't a hot tub on a plane. It was one of the stops they made to look at philanthropic and charitable work that my husband has done, saving literally millions of lives around the world. It turned out that was done long before there was any public awareness and certainly any conviction of any crime by Jeffrey Epstein. So it was a short period of time that was in pursuit of charitable philanthropic work. A lot of people were traveling at the same time. Many staff members, guests, other supporters of the foundation. If Bill and I had a penny for every person we've taken pictures with, we would be extremely rich today.
But you are extremely rich today. And I bet you, Bill Clinton over there, he was given some donations while he was doing this time spent with Epstein. But I think it was more nutritional than financial. I think he was giving a donation of vitamin D, if you know what I mean. Based on those photos, based on how we know
Bill Clinton likes to act around a woman. He likes to say, "Excuse me, honey, can you come here and give me some help? I'm feeling a little slow today from all the responsibilities in the Oval Office. First lady, why not? Second lady, sure. Third lady, keep them coming."
Let's move on to what we're seeing. You've just come from the Munich Security
Bob-heading.
Conference,
Here we go.
and a lot of people are talking about the idea of a new world order. I'm interested in your thoughts. In terms of transatlantic relations between Europe and the United States, do you think they have permanently shifted, that there is no going back to the way things were before?
Well, I
here we
think
go.
time will tell whether we are going to support the rule of law, support the strong alliances that were forged through and after World War II.
Yeah, she cares about rule of law, right?
Create an area of peace and security in the transatlantic or not. And as I said in Munich, I think that comes down to whether or not the people in America turn out, Donald Trump and Republicans, who are more concerned about Putin than they are about democracy, and whether Europe stands against efforts to undermine the ties amongst European nations in favor of the rule of law, in favor of peace and security, and against Putin. So I'm hoping that the answers are the right answers. I'm hoping that people in Europe and people in the United States will stand up for universal values that have actually protected our peace and security now for more than 80 years.
But Trump has continued to try to help Ukraine. He talked this big game about, we're going to stop the war, we're going to get this all figured out, and I'm done helping Ukraine, but he keeps helping Ukraine. So how is he supporting Putin and not working for the values of protecting Europe? What? And not caring about Ukraine? What? Oh my God. I don't want to have you guys have to sit through any more of her. So bad already. But I got to give it up for that BBC reporter who actually brought up some good things and questioned her. You guys are listed in the files. Your husband has all these photos. And it's not like she tried to say, well, he's taking photos with so many people throughout the world. He didn't take a photo with Epstein or with these people. People were taking photos of him while he was in the pool with these women. And we all know what that means. We all can guess what that means. We don't know. We weren't there. It's just weird that her PR plan is to say that Trump and them are covering it up and Pam Bondi's trying to deflect, which Pam Bondi is, which Trump has been doing, deflecting from it, calling it a hoax. It's not my quote. That's Trump's quote. But they didn't want to look at this at all for the last 15, 10, 5 years. And now she's trying to act like Billy Bill did nothing and was just doing donations. Like I told you, I think it was a nutritional donation. Vitamin D. Because we know he does like the ladies. Try to act like he was just not doing anything. Come on, Hillary. Come on. See you guys in the next one.